Sean, welcome back.
Thank
we
you.
are talking about water, and we found...
Water? Pronounce your words properly, woman.
Did I say water
It's
again?
water.
It is water.
Water.
Kids, especially any kids that are listening.
H2O.
Yeah, HTO.
Who's dyslexic around here?
I know. So we're talking about water, and we found out that it's a healthy option to purify your water. Now, as I said, I have a water purifier that's connected to my tap. We talked about that one briefly. And my mum, bless her, uses one of those water jugs with a filter in it. Something like...
Oh, Mum.
Sandra. Something like, one of those Brita filters?
Brita jug, yes.
Yeah, that's the one, those things. So I'm curious, how effective are these to purifying water? Because I do tell Mum off going, Mum, why don't you just get a water purifier? So...
Why don't you buy one for a birthday?
I think it could be a good birthday present. Happy birthday, Mum. There's your present.
It'll be a surprise.
It is now.
I'll be on my way afterwards.
Yeah, exactly right. So how effective are they really?
So it's a bit of a hard question to answer, to be honest, because you've got two different ways of filtration. You've got gravity-fed filtration, which is a Brita filter. So that just relies on the gravity of water flowing through the filter to remove dirt and sediment and chemicals and whatnot.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense, yeah.
Not as effective as what's called a pressure radial design, which is what a lot of our filters are. So they come from the outside and it's forced in through the filter by the mains pressure of the water itself. So
because that filter's quite long and it is, you're thinking, I wonder how it really does
They have a heck of a lot higher surface area than the Brita jugs as well.
That they do, yeah.
The other thing you've really got to watch out for those Brita filters is that you've got to maintain them, change the filter out almost every month to make sure that there's no bacteria breeding inside. Okay. Because if you have a look underneath where you actually put the jug, the filter itself in the jug.
It's all gunky.
Yeah, if you see the black dots or, any furry looking stuff, that's a sign of bacteria breeding in there as well. And that can be dangerous to drink if you leave it unattended.
Oh, mine was growing on a tree.
You definitely want to clean it then.
Clean it or get rid of it or get a water purifier or get an osmosis?
Get an osmosis. We always recommend a reverse osmosis anyway, but it's really whatever anyone can afford. We can tailor everything to people's needs.
Yeah, exactly right. And I think maybe isn't it just going into those, as I say, whenever I'm doing, whether I'm training or just even thinking about something or making a decision, think about it in those bite-sized chunks. If you're coming from like one of these little filters from a jug, go to a water purifier. Yeah. Check that out. How do you like that and how does that work for you? Then once you've done that, then go to your osmosis machine and then you will start to go, wow, there really was a difference. So you're actually learning through the change, aren't you not? Through your experience.
Hey, Lisa, we've had some questions come through. There's a few looking at the computer board there. What do you got there? A couple of people have come through.
We do. Okay, here we go. Are you ready? Okay. We have... we got Mike from Wanneroo. Didn't we just have someone from Wanneroo? Who did we have?
Hey, Mike, do you know Warwick? He probably lives down the road. Warwick's the one with all the sisters.
And here's an interesting one. I would never have thought of this one. He's asked, thanks, Mike, should I filter my rainwater?
Oh.
Yeah, I don't.
He's in Wanneroo.
Apparently he's got
he gets the same rain as Perth.
Oh, look, well,
I looked that up in Google.
There's a few requirements or anything that sort of need to be met, determining if you need to filter your rainwater or not. So, location's a big thing. If you're near any industrial areas that spew out pollutants, then I would definitely recommend getting some sort of filtration system. Also, the age of the house. On the state of the roof.
And the gutters and the old rainwater. I remember ours. We used to have a dead rat in there all the time. Yeah.
That's one thing. That's a lot of things you got to consider. So
seriously.
The age of the roof, if there's a lot of mold or any moss breeding on there, I'd recommend getting it cleaned anyway. That's also, you'd need to have what's called a UV system. Okay. So any water that, ultraviolet, any water that passes through that system is exposed to the UV light, which you don't want to look at anyway because it's dangerous.
That's right.
It actually breaks the shells of any sort of bacteria or pathogens and kills them. So they're no longer alive. They will still be in the water. And the other option there afterwards, the UV light, is to obviously put some sort of filtration in there to remove the bacteria before you can consume it.
Because you need a good first hard rain to wash the roof off.
Yes, you do.
Because you got all the dirt and rubbish and seagull poop and things that on the roof. So
only you would come up with those things for yourself.
Well, I live on the coast. The seagulls, they get chips down and then they go and poop on your roof.
Oh no. Okay. So that's actually some interesting facts. There you go, Mike. Hope that helps you out there.
Hope so.
Yeah.
Good on you, Mike.
From Marangaroo. Here's an interesting one. Is it safe to drink bore water?
Oh, I could get in trouble for this.
We don't want you to.
No, it's all right.
Nah, go for
if
it.
I get in trouble, I get in trouble. It doesn't matter. So you've got to have you have to have your water tested by a NATA authorised laboratory before you consume that water.
Yeah.
Because if there's any say E. coli or any sort of what's called coliform bacteria in that water, you're at a very high risk of developing that barley belly syndrome. Or potential typhoid, cholera, or even dysentery. Yeah. Very, very dangerous. So if you can get your water tested, and if there is anything like that present, you need to have it purified. There's no question about it.
Yeah.
If it's brown or any what's called tannins in there, you'd still want to get that stuff filtered as well, even if it's clear, because you don't know the age of your bore, how deep it is, and where the bore water is being flown from. Yeah. So again, if you're near an industrial estate, you've got to be really, really careful when it comes to that sort of stuff. So
Well, I don't think you got yourself in trouble. I think you've really said it well. Get it tested.
I hope so. I don't want to get in trouble just yet.
No, definitely not. No, you were absolutely right. Get it tested.
Have to get it tested. Any bore water, you really should get tested anyway. Just a general rule of thumb.
And that's a really good way, because sometimes people wouldn't know these things.
No.
Actually, could you imagine just even kids, if they were, I don't know, say if they were playing out in the garden or something like that, and they decided they're thirsty and the bore water's on or something. And
kids don't play outside now. They're on.
Oh, to be honest, we have had an instance of that.
Yeah.
It was down south near Baldivis. They were on bore water. Yeah. And they haven't had their bore water tested for, I think, 10, 15 years. Yeah. And the kids got sick because they found E. coli and stuff found in their bore water.
Well, see, that's really good. See, Nancy, thank you for bringing that up.
Yeah, really good question. Thanks for definitely bringing that up. It's a really important thing to definitely note,
And to share, because we don't talk about it. Who would know? So, and we get a lot of different people coming in. We've got a lot of international people coming in every day into Australia, and they wouldn't necessarily know about bore water. So, well done. Thank you, Nancy.
I'm going to vote Nancy best question of the day so far, Nancy.
Yeah,
so far,
nicely done.
That's a really good question.
Yeah, she's not boring.
Here's an interesting one. Louise from Karrinyup has just come in, and she goes, my skin goes red and itchy after I have a shower. Why is this?
So
that's interesting. Red and itchy after a shower. That's good.
She's not alone.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Well, she's probably alone in the shower.
I'll
we
stop
never
it,
know.
JR. Only JR will
So
go
generally, if she has the same reaction, if she goes to a pool, which I would imagine Nancy would do. So if you do, Louise, I do definitely feel my condolences for you, because it's not a fun condition to have. So I would recommend going to your dermatologist or going to your GP, who can refer you to a good dermatologist. You may have what's a slight allergic reaction to the chlorine or chloramine in the water. If it gets worse in summertime, definitely it is an indication that you'd need to filter your water at the point of contact to your house, primarily to remove that chlorine, because it will just get worse and worse, and you'll end up having eczema, which is what I had before we started this company. So
really,
yeah.
And look, I just want to share with you, Louise did actually say that all of her products that she does use on her skin, what did she say? She said, it's all
dermatologically tested.
Yeah, she said, I am using
she's in
all
the
of
right
that.
direction then, yes.
She said she's getting better than that, but before it wasn't working. And she said even some of the stuff that she was using beforehand, it was like the natural stuff. Yep. But she said she still felt it was, she was getting that itchy and red. So, it's got to do with the water.
It is. The oils and stuff that she would be using, and the moisturisers, they're a barrier as well. So it'll definitely help soothe the red and itchiness on her skin. I would still definitely recommend you need to do some sort of filtration process at what's called the point of entry to the house. Otherwise, you'll just continue having to spend a lot of money on those oils and moisturisers.
So are you for real? So what you're saying then, it's not only about drinking the water for our insides, you're also suggesting that it's also well worth the thought process of looking at our water for externally for us as well.
Definitely, yeah. You'd be surprised how much chemical gets absorbed when you're in a bath or a shower, even for 5-10 minutes.
Yeah.
Are you for real?
Well, put it this way:
I love my baths
on average,
too.
if you're in a shower for, we're supposed to be 4, but let's call it 10 minutes.
Yes.
Really nice hot shower for 10 minutes once a day, your body can potentially consume the equivalent of a 2-litre bottle of bleach.
No.
It's the active ingredient is chlorine and bleach.
No.
Yes.
Really?
Yes. So
I never knew that.
Yeah. Well,
oh my
you
gosh,
have a look.
Okay.
Yep. Google Scholar.
Oh my God.
scholar.google.com.
Oh my gosh, I didn't realise that.
Yes.
Well, okay, so there's the thought process.
Yes.
There you
Think
go,
about that
Louise.
when- yeah,
that could be an idea. And Lisa, I think I'm going to have a think about that one too.
Next time you're half an hour in the bath, Lisa, think about that.
I know, I am thinking
You
about
go
that.
in like a plum and come out like an old prune.
I know, but I won't even think about all it. Stop it. I'm going to do one more. Here we go, one more, and we've got to make this quick. Nicholas from Kareen. I've been hearing that it's a good idea to drink alkaline water. Isn't it the same as purified?
No.
It's not?
No, it's not.
Good question.
Contrary to popular belief, it's not. So your normal purified water has little to no minerals in it. Alkaline
Really?
water, yeah, and actually alkaline water reintroduces those minerals after it's gone through the reverse osmosis process. So it puts back in the sodium, magnesium, potassium, and all those sort of minerals that your body needs
Yeah.
to obviously function properly. Yeah, so it is a good idea if you're already on a healthy lifestyle and a healthy diet and stuff. It is always a good idea to drink alkaline water. You just got to make sure it's the right alkaline water, not pH based. It's got to
Okay.
be TDS based, which is totally dissolved solids.
All right, so be aware if that's the case, you're going down that path. Just be
Definitely,
aware of
yes,
what you're doing
yes.
and make sure you research it.
Good question,
with that
though,
thing.
yes, good question.
Thank you for that one. Wow, lastly, Sean, if our listeners want to learn more about water, how can they connect with you?
They can go to our Facebook page. They can also go to our website, crystalwaterperth.com.au, or they can call us on 08 6244 1300.
Do you notice, Lisa, every time Sean comes in,
Yeah.
a lot of women call in?
Is it my voice?
Do they know how
gotta be
good looking you
girl.
are?
Oh, they
Because
must do.
we're going to put a photo up on Facebook afterwards.
Is it the whole I have a face for radio?
Oh, no.
You got a good face for radio.
Thanks, Jaya.
Sean, thank you so very, very much for sharing your story, getting us all a little wiser about water. It was an absolute pleasure to have you here.
Thank you
on
so much for having me
89.7.
back.
Oh, we would look forward to have you back again
Yes,
and
definitely.
get you back on and
More
share
than
more
happy to.
water wiseness.
And I believe you're a bit of a Van Halen fan, so we've got
Yes,
a
I
Van
am.
Halen song for you.
Yes, awesome.
Woo, bring it
Cool.
on. Thank you, Sean.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.